Hi, Colin. It's good to see you.
Aloha, Sydney.
Hey,
Aloha from Big Island.
aloha from Brooklyn.
Ooh, quite a contrast.
It is in some ways. I can't wait to be back there this winter. And yeah, we're creating something really special. And I want to share about what we're doing and how it came to be and really do our best to communicate the intention and the possibility that is kind of building and growing in this time leading up to the new year. And yeah, I guess I want to share just like how it all came to be. I mean, I started feeling a call to host a group in Big Island
Hmm.
sometime earlier this year, and then it really crystallized for me around Lionsgate in August. I just felt such a strong calling to go back to the land, and I knew I was going to be there. I knew I was called to be there. And then naturally, I thought, well, if I'm going to be there, don't I want to invite people to come and play with me there? Like, that's so much more fun. And as I was letting that vision start to crystallize, I reached out to you and I felt that there was this really strong inspiration to co-create and to weave and to join forces in a way that I actually hadn't done before in the way that we're doing, and it just felt like almost like a new dimension of co-creating a really sacred journey with someone like you that brings such incredible gifts and experience and just more magic to the space. And from there, so much has manifested already. I mean, we manifested a different venue that you were really instrumental in, um, landing for us. And I think what's different about this retreat is I feel like this really dynamic balance of the energies that we both bring to the field, being like divine masculine, divine feminine, and then really integrated in our embodiments. It's like, I don't know, I feel so much support and just in the planning and anchoring of the field. And I know that everyone called to be with us is also already feeling that support, and those who will be called to join, like I don't know, it's just a feeling of being held more and having more resource and like this theme I would say of not having to go it alone anymore, like stepping into a new dimension of collaboration. And I think that's a big theme that we'll be working with in our retreat. What do you think?
Most definitely. I feel that we were in the perfect alignment in this call to host a retreat because from the beginning of this year, since I've moved back here on the Big Island, I spent the last 16 years in Seattle and I was born and raised here. And I felt this strong calling to come back home, to be closer with family, to connect with the Aina and just live more naturally, amongst the land here. And yeah, Lionsgate was incredibly powerful. I know you and I were just sharing like our feelings and downloads that were coming through. And yeah, the retreat was getting really clear. And then I seen you kind of like, talking about it and then we connected and I was like, I think this is like a beautiful time to like merge, what we're both doing and to share our unique offerings and just our our beautiful balance that we can offer and share. Like we met like about a year ago out here on the dance floor at I think Sandari, right? And I just like really felt your flow that you had and um, it's so nice to like reconnect again and to be able to do it here on this island that I feel really specially called to. I mean, this is what my soul chose to enter into this world. And I'm like, man, like great job, Colin, like you couldn't have chosen a better place. Like I'm super stoked. And so I'm really excited to share the gifts of this land here. And this past year, I've been really connecting with a lot of beautiful people here. I mean, and everyone's hiding. Like it's really hard to like find these amazing people and all like, the Hawaiian elders. And so it's really special to connect with these people and discover new places that I've never even discovered before. Like these really cool secret lava tubes with like these really cool formations that I look forward to sharing with our group. So super excited.
I'm excited for that too, and just all the beauty. I love to be immersed in beauty. It's just there's certain parts of Big Island where there's just nothing like it I've ever seen on the whole planet. I've been everywhere, and there's just
Mm,
feeling of like walking into Narnia or certain
mm.
moments at Gehenna or, any of the beaches really in Kona and the bay and just so many, Kilauea, just so many special spots that, I mean, it's like everything just stops and you just drop into a presence that is out of time and out of space. And I think one of my favorite things is to bring people to these areas where they can just be and be really still and really quiet. And so much healing and transformation and insight just comes. And there's no trying, there's no efforting. It's just being and being in union with the land and with yourself, and then allowing these energies to just work on you and work through you. And it's like lifetimes can integrate different aspects of one's being, can just embody. It's profound and it's so effortless.
It really is. I mean, there's really no place like it right now. I mean, we're literally on an like super active volcano that literally just erupted last week. We
Yeah.
had an eruption. And so just think about that energy. It's like energy from the center of the earth is moving out and like coming to the surface. And that's happening here. So it's like there's this natural flow that's coming out through here. And, that energy can be harnessed. I mean, they say the Big Island is all about rebirth, but it's also about destruction and death. And so it has this beautiful polarity that we can use in wherever we are in our life. If we need to like purge and restart, this is a perfect place. And then when we're calling in something new, this is the place of new land, new lava, new space that's happening all the time here. So yeah.
I get it. I feel it. I feel it so much. I'm so grateful you're there right now.
Mm.
You're having this conversation and you're on the land. And before this call, I really was feeling just the like inspiration to consciously connect with the land and really ask like all the guardians, all the elders, all the ancestors, all of the spirits. It's one of the most psychically activating places I've ever been. And I was guided to, I was guided before this call to connect with those energies and just really ask them to support us in this transmission, that we really reach the right people. Because there's also this sense of like this retreat, this immersion, this journey. It's like feel like we're calling in a bunch of new people that I may not know yet, but that we know on an ancient level. Like there's
Mm.
a feeling of deep soul familiarity and people who are called at this time in their lives to really awaken these more ancient aspects of themselves and their gifts and their abilities and maybe memory in order to let go of what no longer serves and what is an outdated construct and what maybe they haven't been allowing themselves to fully step into yet. And then, as you said, like have the space to really birth their truth and their vision and yeah, just more aliveness and more creativity, more presence, and that this is just the perfect place. It's why I was guided to move there when I did, and I got to spend felt like 10,000 years, but I was just there for 2 years, and it was some of the most transformative um, time of my life where I got to move through so many layers of healing and deep transformation. And I mean, I was physically changed. I was altered from being on the land there, from being open to exploring, the different initiations to heal and evolve and expand that came up and so many of my gifts and abilities expanded as well, because there's just such an open field there. I mean, you're on a island out in the middle of nowhere in the ocean, and there's just it's so quiet. it's loud in other ways, like spiritually very busy and loud in some ways, but psychically so expansive and so open, and like you can really feel yourself. And I think that's a big part of this retreat. And I want to know what you feel is like what's really the invitation for the retreat now, like in this moment, because already energy has been moving and evolving in the last few weeks as we've been anchoring the field. And the title that came to me originally was Soulmatic Sanctuary, which is a play on somatic, which means to work with the body, and then to create the sanctuary for the body, to really
Mm.
connect with the soul and to connect with one's highest self and to really nourish the nervous system and to learn about how to take care of oneself as a multidimensional being that has, different needs as an advanced being and, has a really special purpose to fulfill. And then another title dropped this last week, actually, and it was Living Lemuria. And that this retreat is also designed to really help us connect with Lemurian energies, which are the energies of a higher dimensional society that lives on Earth for thousands of years and was known for being highly evolved, spiritually and intuitively very advanced, highly telepathic, empathic, um, multidimensional, and lived in a harmonious utopian society. It was the people lived to be hundreds of years old, and they were happy and healthy and so nourished and had such beautiful ways of living and calling in new souls to be born and beautiful understandings of family and society and education and just a beautiful template of a very harmonious heaven on earth way of living. And so these are some of the values that we're called to explore in our retreat experience as well. So I'd love to know what else is landing for you about like what is this experience really anchoring now? What are people invited to receive? What are some of the energies that we're going to be playing with?
Yeah, I feel called to be a part of and invite individuals that are really ready to step into their truth and their power and authenticity of knowing their purpose here. And, I believe the earth and this reality that we're in goes through cycles. And like you said, back in ancient Lemuria, it really sounds like a heaven. It's literally a heaven on earth. And I believe that we have the ability to create heaven right here on earth by the way that we can step into the truth. I feel like just having conversations with people about what's going on in the world and, the politicians and just all the control stuff going on and just, it's endless. And it's like we all laugh about it because it's just like, why is this happening right now? I mean, but I think it's all part of what we came here to experience and to learn from and to redirect and be on that path to like how it was in ancient Lemuria. And, the Big Island is a part of that ancient land in which they say that there was a massive continent at some point in the Pacific Ocean, which connected all of the islands in the Pacific, Micronesia, Fiji, the Polynesian island, Fiji, and all the other islands around. And so, um, I think it's time that we reconnect with our ancient past and really step into who we are and to let go of just, the stuff that tends to get in the way and create blockages. And that's, I'm very passionate about teaching people how to open that energy flow through self-care. I believe self-care is like the number one answer. And so I believe when people really feel the call, they will commit to that practice of whatever resonates with them. I'm about sharing different practices that can help awaken and inspire you to be committed to doing your breath work, doing whatever form or movement it is, whether it's yoga, qigong, maybe it's dance, ballet, whatever it is, or singing, playing an instrument, finding whatever that allows you to connect with your soul,
Mm.
is what I love to share and I love to learn so that I can just offer more tools to individuals to reclaim as their own. And so this is the perfect time for that.
Oh, I love that. I think that for me, the journey of like the 10 days that we're going to be embarking on is all about self-care and is all about soul care and really giving people the opportunity to deeply connect with themselves, their needs, their desires, their wants, and have a lot of space to just rest as well. It's like the sanctuary time to unplug from the matrix of your life, your identity, your job, your stress, your stories, the distraction of the culture around us that's so full of noise and nonsense, and just like have a space for yourself to really connect to what's real and what's true for you. And something I love to create in retreats is a lot of space for integration and reflection time and true rest, where there are many people out there that host retreats where it's like back-to-back activities and then the retreat is something that's actually exhausting that you need another retreat from afterwards. And, my intention with this space is to really create such a deeply nourishing, soul expanding experience that people feel completely rejuvenated on every level. And I call it a full system, whole system harmonization, and that they feel completely revitalized to go back into their lives and their reality and in their most powerful, radiant form. And that surely their world will be different. The world that they meet on the other side will feel different. They will go about it differently. They'll have more tools, awareness, practice, attunement set in so that when things do get chaotic, which, life will be life, that they'll respond in a different way and they'll have more support to stay present and calm and clear no matter what's happening. And so for me, this journey is really about leadership as well. It's like, how do you lead yourself through the world and how do you be that example that, you wish existed in the world? Heaven on earth is here, but we're the ones to create it. We can't wait for someone else to make it. And that one of my favorite sayings is, heaven on earth is within our own soul. I think Mary Magdalene said that. And so
Mm.
it's within. And when we can feel that attunement within, that peace, that calm presence, whatever it is for you, love, ecstasy, bliss, heaven on earth, when we radiate that from within, then our physical reality changes pretty fantastically, and I get excited about like imagining what happens if even a small group of us can hold that attunement. And then we go out in the world and we're this example, we're this beacon, we're this light, and we create ripples of change in our companies, in our families, in our societies. And I think this is the greatest gift we can ever give ourselves and each other.
Oh, certainly. I think I'm really looking forward to just offer and, with you to provide that space for whoever is going to be called to join us to connect with the land here, right? I mean, this is a powerful land, and so, we're going to be bringing in like some Hawaiian elders to do some blessings on us, and we're going to be out in Puna. The Puna district in general on the Big Island is known to be a very sacred and spiritual and uh
What?
yeah, wild and all the things. But specifically when it comes to energetics and spirits, there's many legends and stories and even just stories now from locals that, it's like things happen out here, like mysterious things happen, or I'm in construction and engineering, and all the time there's like machines breaking down and stuff when they're wanting to do stuff out here because maybe they just didn't have, they didn't ask the right questions or the right authority, And so when you come here, it's a place to be very intentional because, as the Hawaiians call it, the mana, the energy, the power here is very strong. And so if your energy is not aligned and intentional, you're going to have some resistance. So
Mm.
that's going to be a really key part of our experience here is to really be aligned in our truth and to be intentional in every step, every word,
Mm.
every thought that we do.
Oh, that feels so good. What I'm hearing is life is a ceremony, and like, what's it like to really live that way? And that's a Lemurian way. It's like to live in such an intentional, ceremonial way, and like be in union with the sacredness of life, the sacredness of our souls, the sacredness of being, of existing, to meet God in every moment. And I love that feeling, and Oh, another piece of the retreat I'm so looking forward to is just the fun and the play. Like we're gonna have this, and I feel like you and I, we bring this energy really effortlessly. It's like bringing great depth and authenticity and power and transformative experiences and group work and going really deep and healing and like letting some major stuff go and having some emotional release. Like that's all welcome. Then also like having a lot of space for play and fun and celebration and adventure, and that so much unwinding and healing can happen with a lot of lightness, actually, and we're gonna have like a lot of dancing and dances with the local community, and we might even host an event for the local community at our retreat. A big part of the retreat is also giving back through ceremony, through ritual offerings, physically like donating part of the retreat proceeds to a local nonprofit, like supporting Native Hawaiian community and engaging with them and giving back in whatever way we can. Might plant some coconut trees or just seeing how can we give? How can we lead with abundance and generosity and really give back in this experience, because we're going to be so provided for in so many ways. And yeah, the fun and the dance and the movement are going to be a really big
Mhm.
part of this.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, lightness is key. And the way that I've been exploring lightness here on this island is through dance. This is like the capital of dance, ecstatic dance, free
Birthplace.
flow, rhythmic, drum circles, just moving your body on the land. And it's been very uplifting for myself as well, just in my own transformations and healings. And so, yeah, dance is going to be key. We can get into many different styles. One thing that I've been really soaking up lately is Zouk. It's like a partner dance, and that's, really related to like the contact improvisation as well. And I know, you and I both love that way of just like how do you free flow with another energy, right? And that requires you to be in tune with your own energy with, our self-care practices of yoga, qigong, meditation, all that stuff. And I feel the next level of that is like, okay, now how do you like learn to be more receptive in with someone, or and if you're taking on, the more masculine side and your partner is in more feminine or vice versa, how do you weave into that dance? Because ultimately everything is polarity and masculine and feminine. And I believe we are both, but also we have the ability to just be maybe stronger in one. And when we can connect with that polar opposite, that can just like help us truly transcend together, just everything. So yeah, lightness and dance. Let's do it. It's here.
I love feeling that. I think some of the workshops that we'll be doing in the retreat will definitely cover. At the beginning, the arc of the 10 days, what I'm seeing is like, starting with some rituals around release and purification and letting go. And then maybe moving into some exploration of polarity of the inner masculine and feminine. And even something I love to explore is like even the, unconscious elements of those energies, like the light masculine, light feminine, and the dark, and really getting to embody those unconscious aspects that we can reclaim and integrate more consciously so that we can have a greater depth of intimacy, authenticity, and ease in our relationships. This can be so transformative. And then we no longer call in partners to help us heal trauma. We can actually just choose people we want to be with genuinely. And it's a totally different
Right.
experience. So I think a part of this retreat will also be around sensuality and intimacy. Those are generally the energies I always bring anyway, but it's like, let's name it, 'cause this is about creative empowerment. This is about awakening your life force, your vitality, your sexual energy, really reclaiming these energies as healthy, as authentic, as just part of who you are. And this will be very profound healing work to do when we go to the volcano and we, maybe have a release ritual there and really work with some of the energies of the land and certain sites as well that can support, yeah, healing the feminine and healing the masculine. There's certain portals on the island that are really specific to these energies. Like you mentioned, the lava tube, there's a yoni cave lava
Yeah,
tube we
you
can go
know it.
to.
Know
And
it.
And we can swim with the dolphins and we can, really play in that light field that, is the embodiment of the highly integrated masculine and feminine and divine union. And so I love that this is coming through because the Lemurians were really known for being highly integrated beings and being almost like somewhat androgynous because of how translucent and transparent they were, because they were
Mm,
so evolved that no one could tell a lie. They're so telepathic. There's nothing to hide. There was no use for language. It was just psychic, telepathic, pure truth, and people being fully integrated in their authenticity and also being very open and receptive to multidimensional and galactic guidance. And just there's a very healthy, normalized awareness that we come from the stars and that these guides are here to help us and support us in our path. And so we'll also be working with these energies in our retreat and connecting with the Palladians and other star assistance councils that would love to connect with us and that are so visible in the Big Island. So many spaceships all over the place and just the best stargazing on Earth. And it will be really fun through all parts of our retreat, probably in the middle and towards the end, to really have some immersion and energy healing, Akashic records, and intuitive development. Those are some of the things I love to teach and have
mm.
chances to practice and have these tools that can be allies for life.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very well-rounded, like you said. I mean, we're going to explore, as really deep as everyone allows themselves to go, to be truly vulnerable and to let's do this now and let's let go of all the limitations and all the grudges and this is the land of Ho'oponopono. It's
Mm,
about forgiveness. It's about lightness. That's how we become light, is by shedding off the layers of emotions that we naturally hold as humans to others that have wronged us. And so the practice and the continual practice for all of us is to remain light, to remain present and understand that things happen for a reason and they're meant for us to learn from them and then let them go.
mm,
And so whatever it is, in terms of energy that folks are going to be called to explore. I believe you and I can really anchor in a strong field and space. I mean, ultimately, as facilitators, we're just here to create space for people to do their thing. And we're just here on the same journey and maybe just in a different space and awareness to provide that guidance. And the like you said, the masculine, the feminine, they're so intertwined and there's so many people just like now coming out and being I'm this and I'm that too and we're all of it and it's very true. I believe the evolved human like in ancient Lemuria is going to be just a well meshed combo of masculine and feminine, and so I believe we're like really almost there in society. I mean, right, just with all the movements and everything that's currently happening. And so it's just letting all that go and just being who we feel we need to be.
yeah, being who we are. That's it. Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. I'm really calling in, the people that are meant to be with us that really feel the resonance here and really want to play and co-create and collaborate and have so much fun and go really deep and really almost like experiment with, how deep can we go with each other? And what would it be like to fully reveal ourselves,
Yeah.
our true nature, and see what's possible and see what the body's capable of and see what your consciousness is capable of and see what magic, turns up to just surprise us and guide us. And that's the other thing I love, I in hosting retreats, especially in the islands, it's just like we open up such a field of powerful synchronicity and manifestation. It's like it's just unparalleled, So we're going to be casting all kinds of wishes and spells and just I can't wait. I can't wait to see. And personally, I'm calling this in for myself for this time of great transition and expansion in my life where so many of my dreams are coming true and I'm on the precipice of a major expansion, like just huge dreams coming true. And how do I prepare my body and my nervous system to be present and in my power no matter what? And so that's my prayer for this journey is that we develop the resource and the embodiment to show up fully for our dreams, for our mission, for our vision, for our purpose with ease, with presence, with trust, with receptivity, and to know that we never have to do anything alone ever again, and that we leave this experience also with so many new lifelong friends and just
Mhm.
feeling of support, that there's such an abundance of support no matter what.
I think you really touched on it in terms of our, our superhuman abilities. And that's really what I've been all about most of my life. And I feel when we gather in a space, like you said, we help each other to truly upgrade and to tap into our superhuman abilities that I know that we all have. And, we all know that we have. It's just we gotta release some stuff first before we get there. But when we meet, we're we're vulnerable, we can drop in together. I believe that's when the magic happens. And so I'm just, yeah, really ecstatic to be a part of, this group and, all of what you've already been doing with retreats around the world. And I look forward to continue to just be a part of this expansion of our humanness, which is all fun and play.
And beingness and play and heaven on earth, here we are again. Beautiful. So grateful. So if you want to be with us, you can apply at soulmaticsanctuary.com or just DM me or Colin, and we're happy to direct you to the site. My preference is for people to go through the application. It's really like an intention setting process where you can really feel into the experience and what you want to get from it. I want to curate the experience according to what you really want and need, and that really helps everyone, to show up with the most support possible. And then if you still have questions, we can have a call and connect, and would love to get to meet you and to know you. And yeah, this is going to be completely life-changing and just such a fun journey on so many levels and such a gift to give ourselves. So thank you.
Much aloha to everyone. Looking forward to it.
Aloha. Yay.